They've called Afghanistan home for all their lives, but those lives are now at an end, and new ones beginning. These some of the first people to be evacuated under the UK's Afghan Relocation Assistance Programme, ARAP, since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan. But along with British nationals and officials, there are many more waiting for safe passage out.
I think the demand placed upon us is in the order of 6,000, both ARAP and entitled personnel. Those numbers are changing all the time as we understand the scale of the ask. People are coming forward, making themselves known.
The Royal Air Force is aiming to transport out around 1,000 people a day across several flights. But the situation is volatile. Desperate people flocked to Kabul airport in the hours after the Taliban takeover. At one point, all flights had to be suspended. Satellite imagery capturing the scale of crowds that had flocked onto the runway, hoping to get onto a plane. Most did not, but some did force their way onto a US C-17. 640 people packed into the transport plane, far more than should have been on board, but the crew made the call to take off and delivered them safely to Qatar.
What we know had happened at the airport was that there were a lot of Afghans that were trying to, reported, get out of the country. So I don't think that was a lack of planning. As we look at the coordination with those that were responsible for securing that, we'll look at our mission, though, as I talked earlier, is now that the airfield's open, is to make sure that it remains open. So like, as I said, we can continue expediting flights in and outbound.
Hours after these scenes, the UK government said it was sending 200 more British troops to Kabul, taking the total to 900, in part to bolster international efforts to secure the airfield.
The stability at the airport is absolutely key, and I've been working very closely with Ben Wallace and the Home Secretary to make sure we can do everything we can, give ourselves the capacity every day to get as many out as quickly as we can, given the window of opportunity for that.
It seems the Taliban are content for this evacuation to happen, for the moment. The UK is now talking to, and at least for now, working with its former enemy.
It is a statement of fact that they are now controlling all of the access points around the airport. So at a tactical level, around the gates, we are having to have a pragmatic engagement with the local Taliban commanders. And thus far, and recognise, please, that we're only a day and a half into this kind of new situation, they have seemed acquiescent and understanding of what we're trying to achieve. We don't take it for granted, and the local commanders continue to engage with them at the gate accesses to achieve what we want to achieve.
But that cooperation only applies at Kabul airport. For Afghans hoping to be taken to safety, they must make their own way to the airport on what is likely to be a terrifying journey.
It's quite obvious that the Taliban now are the prevalent security providers across Afghanistan. That's a fact. And therefore it's very much up to them, and these individuals, as we call them forward, have to make their own way to the vicinity of the airport. We then bring them into the airport and then loading them into the airfield, bringing them through the security checks to verify their identities, bringing them into the airfield when we know that we've got a flight to load them on. And this is just to make sure that we've got an element of control, and that we can understand that, most importantly, we're prioritising onto our aircraft those British nationals, entitled personnel, the ARAP programme, all the things that the government has laid out as a priority, that we're doing as much as we can there.
This plane will not bring them all the way to the UK. The RAF is instead making shuttle runs to a nearby country, where some people may have further immigration checks, but most importantly, it's for speed. Relying on goodwill from the Taliban means time is of the essence. James Hurst, Forces News. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.